and Adam Gaming is in the channel. The man, the myth, the legend. It is Canada Day, and I got a couple favorite Canadians. Up and Adam is among my top available for certain. Up and Adam, bro. Good morning, man.
Good morning to you, man. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me.
A true pleasure. You look very handsome this morning.
Thank you.
What do we got, man? Is that an Up and Adam? Is that a hoodie? Are we Streamlabs here? Where can we get some merch?
No, I'm using Teespring. I thought about using Streamlabs, but I got some of the I ordered a few. I made a couple designs there, and it just didn't come out the way I wanted it. So I decided to go with Teespring, and honestly, a little cheaper to make.
Okay.
So I can make I offer when I make merch, I don't want to make any money off it. I just want more people to wear it, right? So I'm pretty much at the lowest amount that you can pay without me losing money.
For sure.
You know
If someone's willing to wear the shirt for me, it's how can I get that in your hands, man? I don't need to make a couple bucks off you at all.
Exactly.
Adam, bro, I want to learn about you. I want to learn your origin story. I want to know where you're coming from. I want to know where you're going. It's Canada Day for today. I mean, we'll start at the top. One of my favorite Canadians. What are we celebrating on Canada Day? I know on 4th of July, it's kind of like our Americans' Independence Day. I know you guys got Victoria Day up there, something like that. What am I celebrating on Canada Day? What's going on?
So today, it's kind of a weird year this year because Canada Day kind of got canceled with the cancel culture because of some stuff with the indigenous people here with residential schools. They found a lot of children's bodies, remains and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a dark day right now. In Canada,
so?
we have it's kind of don't want to really bring in negativity and stuff like that, but it's one of those things where the indigenous people here. With the residential schools, lots of children remains have been found at these schools. And so it's kind of are we celebrating Canada Day right now? Are we not? To me, with Canada Day, it was all about going to a cottage with my friends.
Cottage is back. The return of the cottage. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got follow-up questions later, but go on, brother.
I was gonna say, I know you talked about it with Murphy D yesterday, but my buddy's birthday is tomorrow. So we usually go up to his cottage and spend time there and just go I don't know, having drinks, going into the lake and I don't know, just chilling, having a fire and just playing board games and whatnot. And this year kind of feels with the pandemic, we haven't really done it in the past 2 years because it's been we've been locked down since March of last year. So
right.
We're starting to get these restrictions lifted. I know Murphy D touched on it yesterday on your podcast. But yeah, it's one of those things where we would go up, we would go on the ski-doos and just have a great day, right? Go do all that. And this year,
it feels a little different.
It feels different, yeah. And we were not really because you can't really have a lot of people. So who do you invite, right? When you go have 10, 15 people, who do you invite? We usually have 30, 40 people there, and we're a good time, right? So it's it's one of those things where we either do it big or we just don't do it. So we chose to not do it this year, so we're just gonna hang out. Aaron and I are just chilling today, got a stream up, and then the plans for the afternoon would probably go for a little hike, and if it doesn't get too hot. But yeah, that's our plan. There's not really much going on today for us.
Beautiful. That's all right though. We don't mind days with much. So Canada Day maybe a little bit complicated this year.
Yeah.
But fair enough. Yeah. So okay, I mean, Canada Day or not, we can still celebrate a Canadian nonetheless, okay? And that's what I'm here for, to celebrate my man Up and Adam. So before we get to your origin story as far as, and I'm gonna ask a lot of questions that I know the answer to. Obviously, you and I go way back. I've told my chat and my channel numerous times that Up and Adam was my very first friend in the Madden community, and we made tens of millions of coins together. Before anybody knew what we looked like or whatnot. But so yesterday I learned. And honestly, I don't know if this makes me a bad football fan, the fact that I had no idea that Canadian football looked so much different than American football does. But were you ever an athlete, Up and Adam? Coming up as a youth? What sports did you play?
Yeah, so summertime, I would play soccer. I played competitive soccer for, I want to say, maybe 7-8 years. Started out just when those little house leagues, when I was I don't know, I started when I was maybe 4. I was playing soccer in those little leagues, and then I ended up playing I think the next level like rep. So I played that for a little bit, but then I really I've been on skates since I was like 2 years old. Like I was literally on skates at 2. So I loved hockey. Hockey was my thing, but I only played in the winter at that time. Like when I was like up until I want to say 12, I played just like I would play soccer in the summer, hockey in the winter. That was like my schedule. I had those two things going on, and that's all I wanted to do. So then I played hockey. I played like I wouldn't say like top tier hockey here in Canada, but I played like decent. I made this, so I played up until I was 12. I played forward, and then I was like, I kind of like, that's when we were heading into high school, and I was like, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying hockey, but like I wanted to kind of do something different. So I ended up switching and went back to like the house league to play goalie. I wanted to try playing goalie. Okay. I don't know why I decided to make that switch. I don't know. I just like wanted to try it. So I did that for a few more years, and then and then I still do play hockey, but now I'm playing like just like men's league, just like pickup hockey and ball hockey.
Some rec type stuff.
Yeah, and then I was in like from when I was in university. I know we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I played pretty competitive ball hockey here, and so they have like this Ontario Ball Hockey League, and I played. So there's like 4 tiers. Like tier 1 is the highest and goes down.
Is that roller hockey? Is ball hockey roller hockey, or is this still on ice now?
No, it's just like it's like on concrete. You're running with shoes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
we call that floor hockey. I think we would call that floor hockey, like in gym or something like that. Ball hockey. Okay, cool.
That's what we call it. Yeah, we do have roller hockey here. I never really got into that though. But no, I played ball hockey. So I played the team that I played for. We played we started at like tier 4, and then we worked our way up, and just kept on like bringing new people in, and we ended up getting to like tier 2, and then that's when I got into teachers college. So I had to leave the team because I moved away for school for like a year. Like 3 hours away. So I had to give that up. So it kind of sucked because they ended up going to like the highest division, like tier 1, and making to like nationals and stuff like that, going to play
that's cool though.
Overseas. But so I missed out on that opportunity because career came first. Was for me was like just a hobby, right?
Right.
So then I never really got back into it when I got back, because I finished teachers college, I moved to Australia, and then I got back from Australia, and then we moved, and I wasn't really back like where I grew up anymore. I lived like an hour away, so I couldn't really get to the games. I tried for a little bit, but it was just too hectic. I couldn't make it there with traffic and all that. So
yeah, right. Life goes on. Your priorities change. You mentioned teachers college that you went to. Is that like unique and or separate from like university proper? Like for example, in America, you could go to UAlbany and major, for example, in education or major in in teaching or something like this. Is teachers college a unique and separate entity that you went to outside of university?
Okay, so yes and no. So it's still happening. It still happens at a university.
Okay.
But, like at the university, but they have a separate program. So it's like almost like I'm not gonna say master's degree, more like
I
don't know how. I don't even
like
know
an added credential, like a separate like certification kind of deal.
Yeah, but it's still like it's a bachelor of education. So
so you wound up with a bachelor's degree from this program.
No, so I got a bachelor's degree at the University of Toronto, which I got like a double major. So I did 5 years there, finished that. Then I went for another year to do my teachers college. It's postgraduate pretty much. It's a postgraduate degree. So postgraduate. I got a bachelor of like arts and science for my university degree, and then I got a bachelor of education. So I got like 2 bachelor degrees.
Oh, beautiful!
Pretty much.
Excellent.
Yeah, so. Yeah,
and then you went to Australia? What brought you to Australia? Was it an educational or a career opportunity? Why'd you wind up in Australia?
So this is a funny story. This is so Aaron and I, we met at teachers college. We met there, and we started dating like in January of like our second semester of teachers college. It was only a 1-year program, so we met then, and we were like talking, like we just whatever, and then at the end of the year. Or at the end of the school year, in April, we're like, all right, she was going to head to Australia for a year, and I had to like make the decision, like, am I going to pursue this, or am I going to stay here and not? Because she was going to Australia because her dad was living there for work for a couple of years, and I was like, that's a tough thing. And she's like I had some interviews in England for teaching. I wanted to like get a job right out of school because the teaching here, getting a job right out of school is almost impossible.
Okay.
Right now it's a little bit different because they go through like these like little periods of a little like lulls of like you need to start with supply teaching, then you get like a long-term position, then you get like a permanent position. That's how it usually works, but it goes through like cycles of like sometimes like you can bypass like supply and all that. But when I graduated, it like you have to do supply work and you're not guaranteed a job after school. I just did 6 years of school. I don't want to be waiting around. So I did a couple interviews in London, England, and I was offered a few positions there. And then while I was there, Aaron called me and was like, I want you to come to Australia. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. So I turned down the jobs there, came back home, and then we went to live in Australia for a year. So we did some teaching there, we did some traveling, and yeah.
And, fast forward, not to a spoiler alert, but you guys are still together to this day now, are you not?
Sure. We are. Almost 6 years, 6.5 years.
Holy cow. So that wound up being one of your better calls there, huh, Up and Adam?
Right, exactly. I'm glad I went. So
that's a beautiful thing. Nice, man. So it sounds like
we did.
So it sounds like I don't know, football like hasn't really blipped on your radar yet. Like as a Canadian, like I'm gonna have two Cowboys fans on back to back. So I also want to know like how you stumbled upon your Dallas Cowboys fandom. Puke. But what was like when did football like as a sport first blip on your radar? Was it Canadian rules football? Were you a Cowboys fan from early? Like what was your first kind of experience with football as a game?
Yeah. So where I grew up, there was no football teams. Like high school, we had nothing.
Okay.
I know Murphy D was saying like he was a little bit further outside the city and they had some programs. I know that. Right.
It was more rare by you?
Like there was none. There was no program.
Okay.
So I never got a chance to play. I don't think my parents were willing to drive probably like 2 hours to go to a practice and then a game. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Plus, I was in so much like I was playing. Like between me and my two younger brothers, we were out every single night between like practices, games, whatever. We were
nonstop.
Always,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Parent taxi mode engaged. You have two younger brothers also? Brief aside.
Two younger brothers. Yeah.
How much younger than you?
So my middle brother is 5 years younger, and then my youngest brother is 7 years younger.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, go on. Okay.
So I never really got into football until I was like, I want to say like maybe 10 or 11, and that was because my dad grew up a Cowboys fan. I guess because there's no football team in Canada, like no NFL team in Canada.
Sure.
He grew up watching the Cowboys. I guess maybe because it was on TV more often. I would assume that's
I mean, they were
I
bet, I'm sure they were really in the thick of America's team, when your father was intaking a lot of that football.
Yeah, so we would me and my brothers would just like sit like on Sunday watch football together. So that's pretty much how I became like a Cowboys fan, because that's pretty much what we watched. Like we would always catch the Cowboy games together. So it's kind of like a pretty much like a sentimental thing, right? Like we still I still pop by my parents' place and like watch football on Sundays sometimes, like when I can make it there. So
nice.
It's one of those things that we just do as a family, like me and my brothers. So yeah, that's pretty much like my experience in football. And then getting into Madden was weird. Like, my first Madden I played, I think it was Madden 19. My 19?
My brother, no kidding. That was going to be my next question. 19.
Yeah. My brother played a few games before that. Like he was more into football than I was at the time. So he played like I think like 16, 17 and 18, but like not Ultimate Team. It was mostly just like franchise.
Sure,
and then
yeah,
even
yeah.
in 19 when I got into it, I pretty much like dabbled a little bit into like Ultimate Team, because I knew it from like the NHL games. I literally have every single copy of NHL since I could remember.
Adam, so you're telling me, brother, that you picked up Madden in 19, you were a MUT millionaire by Madden 20 and a partnered Madden streamer by Madden 21? Is that that's pretty much it. And I don't know, like it was one of those things where like I got into like Ultimate Team with NHL, and then I tried to carry that over into 19. Didn't really gain too much traction because I never played online. I didn't play online until Madden 20, like halfway through when I started like streaming, pretty much. Right. So,
I would just play solos. And the thing is that what I liked about Madden was that you were able to have a pretty good team by just like grinding solos and grinding the game. Like you didn't need to play online, which you couldn't really do in NHL. You had to kind of be good at the game to develop your team to how you want it. So that's what I thought was really cool. And then Madden 20, I got really into it. I was like, all right, we're going to start this year and we're going to just try. And then I ended up making a YouTube channel in March when we went into lockdown. When I lost my job because I switched So I went from one school district to another, and I had to like start from scratch again. was a bad timing because I don't think I would have done that if I knew a pandemic was about to happen. So I switched in January, and then in March, I lost my job because I just got onto another district and I had to like start with supply, but there was no school. So I couldn't even supply because there was no school happening. So, and then we didn't really have online, like Murphy D was saying yesterday, we didn't really have online. It was just like, here, you have these like assignments. So there's no use for supply teachers. Right. So I was kind of like, what am I going to do? Like Erin still had her job because she was with that school board that I switched over to. So she was working. So that was like grateful because we just bought a house too then. So it worked out. And then I started making YouTube, and I think we met March or so.
Yeah, shortly thereafter. So that was when the YouTube channel was born, was right there in March.
Yeah.
The more conversations like this I'm having with, you now and Murphy D, and, I'm sure we're going to find the same sentiment going forward. Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of us came together kind of out of the necessity of the pandemic and, how that shifted our lives and changed things and, gave us more time in some ways, but also, put a lot of us in a pretty tough situation as well. So that's when the YouTube was born, like really right at the start of the pandemic.
Yep, exactly. I was like, I bought a mic, and I pretty much I would record everything from the PlayStation and then put a USB in, just take it out, and then put it into like the free program I was using to like edit videos and just pop it out.
Do a voiceover for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a beautiful thing.
Things were like, I was like, I'm not sure how this is gonna work, and it was like, all right, I didn't have a camera at the time. I was like, I'm not sure what we're doing then. And then I joined the CFM with you.
Yes.
You asked if I wanted to join the CFM, and I was like,
I had to twist your arm about it a little bit too, if I remember, brother. You know what I mean?
So I was like, I don't know, because I never played online before, like I wasn't comfortable playing online. I was like, I'm gonna get destroyed. I don't want to embarrass myself, but you convinced me, and I'm glad I did. And then you all started streaming it. I didn't start streaming until June. So we had like
probably the next month, I think, right? Yeah, something like that. Because I think I started it up in May. So yeah, I guess maybe like a month later, you wound up in the Super Bowl. So it wound up being a pretty good thing that you hopped in the CFM in the first place.
Exactly. So and it was one of those things where it's like, all right. And then I got I had a laptop. I was borrowing my brother's laptop because he didn't need one, and I was like, I needed it for like work, and I started so I used the webcam from the laptop. I bought an Elgato. I'm so glad I bought one at the time because after like a few more months later, they were
couldn't
sold out
find them
everywhere.
anymore. Yeah, right.
So it was good time. So then I had the Elgato into my laptop and like my little blue snowball mic.
Yep. Making it work, bro.
Yeah. And then we started streaming, and I guess I put in a lot of work. Like I know people are like, you just boot it up and you had like 10, 15 people. Yeah, but we put in a lot of work before then. You know what I mean? Like the networking, thinking how you want to have like your brand, like I don't know, I feel like, and like Erin designed my logo, and then I got it made by my guy Jesse, who still does a lot of work for me. So shout out to my guy Jesse. If you need like an editor or like a logo guy, he's awesome.
I remember when this iteration of the Up and Atom logo came up, I was like, bro, that is the one. That is it.
And then we started streaming, and we had like the whole backing behind us. We had like our little our group wasn't even little at the time because there was a bunch of us.
Probably a couple dozen at that point, really.
Right. And then I guess we started and then we started streaming, and then I think here's the biggest thing I think what I learned from my journey since we started, and you could probably talk on this too. Yeah. I wanted to I so badly wanted to be like a good gameplay streamer. I did. But I realized that I wasn't passionate about it. So when we were streaming and we gained that traction, then we lost a bunch of people when Madden 21 hit. Our I know personally my numbers went from average of 30, 40 down to 20.
We got cut in half basically. All the big dogs were back, and the landscape, all these big names were now back in the fray, and little old console streamers Up and Atom and Fend were just out here trying to survive. So it was that kind of that really I was kind of discouraged me a little bit, but obviously didn't give up. But so then I realized I was putting in time to lab and try to get better at the game, but I realized that I wasn't passionate about doing that. I always kept finding myself I'd rather be trying to make coins. When I'm not streaming, I'd rather be making coins. Mm-hmm. I'd rather be trying to build my team, find ways to make coins. That's what I was good at. That's what I enjoyed doing. So
once I made that switch to becoming like a menu streamer, I think my numbers just like started skyrocketing even well before I got onto Madden Live, right? So my numbers from like, I think in December, my average went from like 25 to like 50 or 60 by December.
And I think that's got to be indicative of you probably enjoying your time more so. You're not worried about things. You're doing something that you enjoy and that you're passionate about. What was the path of the YouTube channel? From your first video, was it about, you know, generating currency and making coins? Did you start off with like more gameplay stuff? What path did your content take? Did you skip right to the point?
So what I did was I streamed. So my streams were like gameplay, like trying to like play Weekend League, trying to play like head to head. And then my YouTube videos were coin making because I enjoy doing that off stream. So I started with the coin making stuff, and I kind of like kept going that. Then I started recording our CFM games, and I started posting those. But my editing wasn't that great, so they really didn't take off. And I think I didn't really have a big following at that time either. So now since then, I don't think I've had like too many gameplays on my YouTube channel.
At all.
Pretty much all like coin making, how to like what solos to do, like how to level up, how like all that stuff, like how to's kind of thing.
For sure.
And I think that's what I'm good at, and that's what I enjoy. So I know we could talk a little bit about the clickbait stuff because I know it's but the thing is, like, I've realized that I try not to like clickbait if I don't have to, but like at the same time, YouTube is a different like ball game. Like on Twitch, you get to know the person, right? You get to know the streamer, you get to know the community, and that's awesome. Like it's so much easier, I find, to engage with my chat than on YouTube.
Sure.
And if I can get a few new faces in there by clickbaiting, I'm gonna do it. I feel like it's not like I'm trying to like clickbait, like, and it doesn't work. Like they do work. Like it's not like,
for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I'm gonna put like a method here. You're guaranteed to make coins. I'll always like preface it like if it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be one of those people who like have like 20,000 coins in my stack and be like, do this now and you'll make millions. And like, well, no, if I don't have millions, I'm not gonna teach you how to make millions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but sitting on 20 million, people are gonna pay attention to what you got going on. Right? I think, you know.
So it's one of those things where it's like, if I clickbait a little bit, it's because it works. So
yeah, you're figuring this stuff out as you go, I suppose.
Exactly.
You referenced
in the audience.
You referenced earlier that because like I've gotten maybe a little bit of this same feedback, like, oh, you were lucky to boot up to have people in the channel, and you referenced the fact that it's really not that simple, and it didn't just happen all at once. You know what I mean? Like the first time I booted up a stream, the first time you booted up a stream was really kind of more so a continuation of stuff we were already doing and work that we were already putting in. So if we had some folks in the chasing affiliate trying to create a community that are getting frustrated, what direction do you think you would point somebody in on how to gear up for your first stream, so when you hop in, like you did, you can have, a couple bodies and then something to build off of? Because it seems like, man, I know I referenced it on stream the other day, outside of this, we're in a medium pond, but outside of our Madden Plus, because we're all expanding to other things. Outside of this Madden Plus community, there are some folks really, really having a tough time, chasing down their 3 average for affiliate and creating any bit of traction that they can build off of and expand upon. Do you have any, gems for somebody that might be battling in that way? I think you and I are going to think a lot of the same ways here, but what do you think? Yeah,
so I think personally, it's like, I know we'll probably talk. I know you'll probably mention it as well. Like I'm sure you agree. I know I've heard you talk about it before, but having a mic and a webcam go a long way.
For sure.
It's one of those things where if I pop into a stream and I don't see like a webcam or like a mic on, I'm probably not sticking around.
Yeah, man.
And it's nothing to do with the person who's streaming. They might be an amazing person. It's just that I can't connect with you. I'm on a platform where I want to interact with the streamer and the chat. And if I can't do that, I have a hard time like staying engaged. I feel like I lose engagement or focus like so easily. I'm one of those like those kids at school who like I'm constantly like fidgeting, I'm constantly like doing things because like I can't stay focused on something unless I'm really, really
locked into it. Right, sure.
You know, I mean, that's just how I am. Like I'm one of those people who like if I'm editing a video or like making a thumbnail, I can be here for like 2 hours without even knowing 2 hours has passed.
Because you're locked. Yeah, right. Bored, getting it done. Yeah.
But if I'm bored and I'm not like, engaged in the content or whatever, it's gonna feel like forever for me. So I think like having a mic, I know like some people don't have the means to like get both, but like if you can start off with even just a mic, I think that goes like a long way. Like interacting with the community, not just the streamer. So like I see a lot of people coming in and just just chatting with the streamer and like saying, oh, like I'm a streamer, I want to like I'm trying to become a streamer and stuff like that, but they're not really like interacting with the most important people, the chat. Those are the people who are going to be in your stream. Right. Like as a streamer, and you're probably the same way, you probably feel the same way. We have so much people who support us at this point. Like we have like you have over 100 people in here right now. Like on big man days, we got over 100 people in our streams. Sure. I cannot personally pop into every single streamer stream if they all are streamers. I just can't do it. I don't have enough time in the day to do that. Between like working as a teacher, by like streaming myself, making videos, editing, spending time with Aaron and the dogs, and you know what I mean? Like it's just not enough time in the day. And I hate that I can't. But so I think like if you want to become a streamer and you want to be successful, I think it's really, really important to engage with the chat, engage with the streamer as well, obviously, but like really focus in and really like make friends in the community. Like I guarantee you, like of a few people in here who don't stream in your chat and start pick up streaming, I can guarantee you a bunch of people will go in there because they met so many friends along the way. And that's what we did with the CFM, right? Like we were all in each other's streams because we were friends. We wanted to be there. It wasn't like, oh, just because I come to your stream, you have to come to mine. It was because we wanted to be there. We have that engagement together. We're in this together. So that's the thing I think we succeeded with as a group so well is we kind of did things in the correct order. You know what I mean? Because I echo those sentiments for sure. I think the best way that you can get people to show up for you is to show up for other people. And of course, you know, fast forward a little bit. And like we said, it's impossible. There's just not enough hours in the day for us to get everywhere that we want to be, but the emphasis on connecting with people on a more personal and friendly level and outside of like, well, I'm gonna spend 90 minutes in your chat, so I'm gonna expect to see you for at least 90 minutes in mine. The next day, it was kind of like, for us, it was like a chain reaction almost. Like one of us booted up a stream, everyone showed up, we're enjoying our time in there. It's like, well, hey, you know, Adam's got a game against William H. Bonney on Tuesday. Like maybe we could get Adam to boot up for that, and he did. And then those same dozen guys came, and then you know a couple of those guys brought a friend, and now it's 20, and then you know we keep building. And I think that's been one of like the hallmarks of the community that has because you know we share so much of our communities. I think that's been one of the hallmarks of our culture and the culture around us is that it is a primarily a group of friends who like to support each other before it is, you know, a trade of goods or services or time. You know what I mean? That's right. You took the words right out of my mouth. I definitely agree with that. Like we want to be there. It's not like you said, you have to come because I came to your stream for that long, right? Like we all have life, but we want to be there when we can, right? We want to be able to support. And I think with me too, like if I could sub to everybody who subbed to me, it's just I would go broke.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Like I just would, and
I would love to go. If I had it like that, man, I'd be out there like that, but I don't.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I try to show my love a little bit differently, right? Like I try to show my love with like, cause I've built, or like I guess like we could say we've built this huge platform that we have now, right? We have this like this big community that we have like 50, 60 people will always be in our chat no matter when we boot up, right?
Right. Yeah, blessing.
Share that with my raids. So I try to show my support with like raids, spending some time in the chat, like giving like, I don't know, I know some people are saying like when you come into my chat with the check mark, it's nice because like more people will just like feel engaged because like a check mark in there. It's like, yeah, that's fair, but like, I would do that regardless if I had a check mark or not when I can, right?
For sure. Yeah, man, I completely agree. And sometimes it's even tough because like I know I've heard you say this too. Sometimes I don't want to take attention away from the show or the streamer also. So that's like kind of like a secondary level, and what a blessing it is. People would kill for these problems, but I'll bounce around some streams sometimes and just kind of, play the wall or just drop one message just, to let them know I'm enjoying the show or whatnot. And then, just kind of let the show go on. I think I overuse this saying a little bit, and it's not my own. It's from a TED Talk. I always forget the gentleman's name. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I think by and large, we, not like you and I, but like, we, like the royal we, should give people more credit for understanding why we're doing things. And this is what I mean to say. A new member of the community, for example, pops in. It's going to be very apparent whether they are just getting the intros out of the way leading up to plugging their stream or mentioning that they're going live at 3:00 or something like this. You know what I mean? Like, people are smart. People are really intelligent, and they're going to see right through like what you're trying to do. And so for me, the only available option is to operate, from a genuine place of, I want to know as many people as I can and create as many networks as I can. Because, if you use people for a means to an end, and without any specifics, we've certainly seen it recently. It's unsustainable to say the least. You know what I mean? That falls with that. That crumbles. That sandcastle crumbles expeditiously. You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely right, and that's just the way. Like I know, and I'm happy. Like I know, I stole this from. I'll give credit where it's due. But like getting onto Madden Live was such a blessing for me. Like I love being on Madden Live, and now that I'm there. And I'm able to have like 1,000 or whatever, however many people are in the stream at the time. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta pause real quick. Erin's calling me, and I gotta just make sure she's okay. No. Give me one
Of course. Boss lady up first. Who's in the channel? I could also check in and say hello, see who's in the channel, buzz. I'm not dropping any cuss words in the Up and Adam show. Robo teach one misser to Slayer for the entire rest of my life. What's happening there, boys? Little CJ Sauce sighting? I got your boy. CJ Sauce, you're on my short list, brother. I know you work hard as heck, but I'm trying to get you on the show here as well. People won't raid without a camera, a mic typically. Yeah, Robo, I would tend to agree with that. Mic, for me, is bare bones minimum. And really, I kind of agree with, and it's like Up and Adam said, it's tough because you don't want to judge somebody for not having the means maybe to get on a camera. It's not like you want to, throw out the whole stream just because they can't be on camera. But from an objective sense, it is really, really helpful. It's certainly a boon to, getting bodies in and there's that handsome mother father back in the channel. It's certainly a boon. No, you're good, brother. No, you're good. Of course. So now we're here. You've achieved partnership. I'm kind of, I did a podcast the other day and I'm co-opting this question because I thought it was a good one. I wound up spinning it. So the question I want to ask is, do you think, for the better or the worse, do you think achieving partnership has changed Up and Adam as a streamer? When I answered this question, and not to steal it, matter of fact, let me not answer the question because this is the Up and Adam show. Do you think for better or for worse, do you think parts about you or your demeanor, how you conduct yourself, your plans for the stream may have changed for partnership? What's different now that you got the check mark, do you think?
Yeah, fair enough. I think that in a sense, things change. I think I don't think the way I present myself or the way I treat other people has changed at all.
Agreed. Yep. Agreed.
I think it's definitely nice to have that check mark. It shows that you've accomplished something.
Also agreed.
It feels like I'm doing the check mark. Kind of gives me validation that I've done something good, and I keep building off of that.
If you've been recognized for it.
Yeah, and I think that's important. It doesn't really change anything. For yourself, the check mark doesn't get you any more money. It doesn't get you really anything. You get just a couple benefits, but it's nothing too drastic. But I think it does give your stream a little bit more validation as well. I think more people will come in to check you out because you do have that check mark. Mm-hmm. I think you get I don't know if this is obviously I could be wrong, but I think someone comes in, they see a check mark, they think, okay, this dude has a bunch of people in here, he must be decent. Maybe their first impression might be a little bit better. Again, I don't know.
No, I don't think that's unfair to say at all.
Yeah, but I don't think like for me personally, it's really changed the way I act. I know everyone's probably gonna be like calling me like Hollywood, but there's
You're
just
gonna
no
get,
way.
yeah, you're probably gonna get flooded in the chat, I would think.
But like I really don't think like I've changed much on like my stream. Like it's nice to not have to worry about okay, don't get me wrong. I never really stressed about numbers, but during the process, the application process, you've been there. You have to
you just have to,
right?
Yeah, you have to take an eye at it. Yeah.
So and that kind of that pretty much like made me a little bit. I think that made me a little bit of a worse streamer, to be honest with you. Like always like looking over and like if I don't have enough people there, I gotta like end stream. So
yeah, I gotta plan my exit strategy here. Like I can't if I got 55 bodies, even if you're putting on a show and everything feels good and you got like some good quality people in. If you're on that path to partner, you have to keep a side eye on those numbers. And I agree with you. And I didn't want to steal it from you, but that wound up being when I was asked whether partnership changed anything. Really, I hopefully no, but in other than the fact that. Now that we don't have to worry about that, we can focus on the show. We can focus on putting on the best value of entertainment we possibly can in whatever game, or if we want to do interviews or play MLB or retro games or get on Spyro, with Aaron or something like this. And, now our options have been opened up a little bit. So for me, it was a relief. But also, like you said, I mean, it's also... Of course it's an ego trip. Of course it is. Of course it feels good and it's nice to see and right exactly because it's it and a lot of the folks in the chat that are chasing it also know the effort and the time and the work that needs to go in to even get anywhere close. So I don't think there's anything wrong at all with being very proud of your accomplishment. You know what I mean? It's an honor to have the thing. It's indicative of a large body of hard work. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I certainly agree that I don't. The chat disagrees, but I don't think Adam's gone Hollywood.
No, I bet. And it's also like the same thing here, like going off a little bit. Like it's not just like pressing go live. I know we've talked about this before, like in DMs and stuff. It's not just like streaming is not just about clicking go live and you're going to be successful. It's there's so much stuff that goes behind the scenes. And you don't see it. Like people who don't stream themselves, they don't see the amount of stuff that goes like on behind the scenes, like all the audio issues, all the like Streamlabs issues, the OBS issues, the camera
troubleshooting, and the equipment and the setup and whatnot. And it's funny that you say that. I have such a vivid memory of it was Jay Ruiz. Specifically, shout out to our boy Chef Jay Ruiz. So after the IRL raid, just an incredible moment, incredible night in my life that I'll always remember. But so we're hanging out with Sapper and Jay and Toasty Boy and Fausti and guys like this who and Vinzo who came to surprise and Jay Ruiz was like, all right, I got to boot up the stream. I got to sit in the seat. Like this is like a bucket list thing. Like I've seen it operated from the viewer side of it every time. And I was like, okay, Jay, like if you want to do this, you have to do it top to bottom. So, rather than open up everything and check all his audio sources and put up the green screen and look at the second camera and make sure the lighting was good and make sure his mic is functional, I had him sit down and I started directing him through it. I was like, okay, you got to capture your desktop audio now. There you go. Okay, you got to make sure your mic level is good. You got to make sure you don't adjust that. Okay, now that's good. Where's your second camera at? Okay, what scene is that going to be on? Do you know where to go if you need the browser? Do you know where you need to go if you want just you on there? And after we've gone on about this for a couple minutes, Jay is like, man, I had no idea that there was really this much involved. I thought you just sat down, hit the button, and it's all of a sudden showtime. You know what I mean? And like you said, there's significantly more that goes into it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. Like I can't, like if I'm streaming at 8:30, I'm up at like 8. Like I'm my computer and everything is open by 8 o'clock, doing like little test runs, making sure audio sounds okay. My scenes
bouncing
are all
around your scenes and your transitions and just making sure everything is good to go. Yeah.
Checking the auction house, make sure I know everything I'm going to talk about today. You know what I mean? It's like it's a process. Like I need at least like half hour to set up. It's not just like go live and you're ready to go. So I think people do that. People just like, all right, I'm going to go live and that's it. So it's
and like kind of an expansion off of that, like along the same idea, I always advocate for folks. And listen, streaming can serve a lot of different purposes to different people, right? It's not to say that streaming just should be all the best practices to get you to partnership is the only way to do streaming, because that's not like that's not necessarily the case. But whether or not you want to grow the channel to whatever you want it to turn into, I always advocate for streaming when you're ready to stream, when you want to stream, rather than when you want to play video games.
That's exactly right.
Because I think a lot of folks put on a subpar show because they'll just boot up the stream whenever they just want to play video games. And for me, playing video games and streaming are almost two completely unique experiences. Like, I get off a stream and, I'm sure your volume is a little more moderate. I think probably better for it too. But by the time I get off stream, I'm exhausted. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, Emily knows that, I just need a couple hours to kind of decompress and wind down. When playing a video game, I might be dead nuts silent, just kind of zoned in, locked in for multiple hours. And those ideas for me are kind of mutually exclusive. Yes, I'm playing video games while I'm on stream, but there will also be times where I'll be playing games where I'm not on stream because I don't want to put on the show. Like, I don't want to, rise to the occasion of being worthy of an audience.
That's right.
And I think some folks maybe they play video games more so than they stream. And I think, in some instances that could be an area for improvement. It's because it can be boring sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't want to watch somebody play a video game. I want to watch a streamer. I want to watch a show.
I want to see, like, I want to be engaged. Like, I can do the same thing. If I can go in, I can, like, if I'm watching someone play the game, I can do the same thing. Like, unless like you're competitive and you're really, really good, like you're like MCS, like, I'm probably gonna like need some kind of entertainment. I'm gonna need something other than just watching you play. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's nothing wrong with it. That's the thing that you want to do streaming, go for it. But everyone, like you said, strokes for different folks, right? Like,
exactly.
I like watching, as a menu streamer, I like watching gameplay. Because I don't do that, right?
Yeah, I don't really, for balance. Good for balance.
You know what I mean? But like I can go into, but I think I can go watch like guys like Buffalo K, and I could like go into like Rafe's stream when he's like opening gaps and like thinking what's going. Like, I like to understand like what's going on in their heads. I like to understand how they're looking at things, because there's never just one way to look at something. There's always everyone learns differently. Everyone has different things that they can do. So it's like, I like to get into like people's heads, seeing what they're doing, like what works for them when they make coins or stuff like that. But like, I'm mostly inside. I'm mostly watching like gameplay stuff because I'm interested in that. I like watching it. I like to be entertained by the game and the streamer. So,
for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's personal preference.
Any of those? So, are any of those guys that you just mentioned? Well, hey, we could go back even further. Were you indeed like a viewer, a Twitch viewer, before you became a streamer? Were you spending time like viewing on the channel? What were some of your first channels, and YouTube also? Like, what were some of the first creators that you came across? After you get involved with Madden around 19 and then 20, like you're kind of getting into Ultimate Team. What are the first few, whether Twitch or YouTube or both, creators that you stumbled across?
Yeah, so I think the reason why I stumbled on Twitch was because of the EA Madden streams.
Okay.
I think I came on from that, and so I watched a bit of that, and then I saw like Gut Fox on there, so I watched a lot of Gut Fox. I watched a lot of ScoMo because he was streaming in the morning as well, like either just before or just after EA went live.
Yeah, me too.
And then when I met like you, I was in J-Dub's stream. J-Dub was like my pretty much like gateway into the community. Into
everything else, man. J-Dub has done that for a lot of us.
Yeah, that's where I spent the most time in Jay's stream, like more often than not, like in Jay's than anybody else's. And then I started getting into like your streams and Murphy D's streams and whoever else was streaming during our CFMs. That's when I got into that, and then you just meet so many people who are streaming, and yeah, those are like that's Twitch scene. YouTube I watched a little bit before that. Okay. And you have your big guys, right? Like you have Zertsky, you got ScoMo, you got CC. Those are the guys I watched quite a bit.
Sure.
I also watched like Swift. Swift was one of those guys who I like took a lot of inspiration from. Seeing like what he did with like his coin stuff and just like the way he presented himself was something I respected. Like this is cool.
Sure.
And then I also like before like Madden stuff, I watched a lot of TD Barrett.
I love TD Barrett. Actually, where's he been at? Well, Madden had him on for something. I haven't been on his YouTube all that much. I used to watch a lot of TD Barrett.
I watched I pretty much watched a lot of his like franchise stuff.
It was all great stuff.
His like MLB, like the show stuff. Like I watched a lot of him, and I watched a lot of like Toke Nasty. Like I loved his series, like with his like MLB, like the Road to the Show thing. I loved it. I would make sure I watched every single one of those.
Nice.
And then like I was so big on franchise though. I was so big on franchise. So I like to watch. Who did like Bengal?
Yep. He's
really
got like
good.
the main series, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're using his like draft classes, and it's like, I watched a lot of him. And now you see these people like moving on, like K. I don't know if you like know K.
Oh yeah,
he's another
Buffalo K. Shout out to Buffalo K.
Not Buffalo K. The other.
Oh,
K.
sorry. KKS.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, sorry, got you.
Him because the entertainment factor. He was just so entertaining, no matter what game he was playing, whether he was like playing a game or was he like just like opening packs. Like I was entertained throughout the entire like 10 minutes of the video. So there's some really, really great things. Like even like Anto the Boss, I watched all his like he would do like a pretty much like buy packs. It was like a pack and play, but like with Madden, and like he would always have like the best players on his team and just like play games, and it was fun and entertaining. So
you had a pretty good sample size before you even hopped into the thing. Who should we look for you collaborating with in 2022? Obviously, I would love to be on the list, but like I know you're tight with CJ. I know Buffalo K has probably got some big coin making moves. Is there going to be a race to 100 million coins? What do we got going on for 22?
I don't know. Like so last time, the start of Madden 21 this year, I kind of, like I said, I try to be competitive. I want to play. I want to win games, right? Mm-hmm. And I, how do I say this? So I labbed and I like built a team early on. I try to have like the best team early on. So, and that kind of like put me back where I would make a ton of coins.
Right.
Like, because I was kept on buying like the most expensive players at the time to try to like keep up and like play weekend league. Right? It's expensive.
It is.
And then I realized after I stopped caring, like after I started to become like more of like a menu streamer, my coin stack went from like 1 million to like 23 in like I think a few months. And it's like, I don't know, like it was just one of those things. Yeah. So I was like, I think this year my plan is to be consistent. I want to start the year off, grind to level 50 as soon as I can, get my coin stack. I want to have like 1 million by the end of first week, and then just continue build the coin stack and just have enough players on the team just to play solos.
Okay.
Get everything ready, and then I don't know, maybe a month or two in, I can start building the team. But like, I want to see how many coins I can get to this year with just like coin methods, learning the cycle of the game this year, because it's gonna be a little bit different with the auction house. So
yes, it will. So okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. So from what it seems like, I want to get your feedback on what. I guess we don't know what it's going to look like for sure. So from what I'm gathering, and you can correct me if I've mistaken any of this, but it seems like the auction house will function off of the median price of a card. They're going to install basically a range, like a plus or minus range that cards of the same kind can be sold within. To me, if they get the range correct, that sounds like a dub to me, because it negates the outliers. And they said they're not even going to introduce like the range on the lower end to start. So I know, a lot of the super snipers were upset that, they're not going to get any 500 coin golden tickets. But it seems like they're not indeed rolling out the lower limit just yet. To my, uncultured ears, whatever, it sounds like it's going to be fine, but like I'm getting feedback from guys. It's like, there's a similar system in FIFA that doesn't like seem to be working as well. I'm not hearing anything wrong with the range thing. I think anyone who's already operating the auction house, within the rules of the game and is doing so fairly is probably, the goal is to buy low, sell higher. And if they get the range correct, we're still going to be able to do that. Also thought it was interesting that it seems like for now these ranges are going to be updated on the hour, which is what got my brain going when you said there's going to be some, the cycle of the game might be a little bit different. Do you think so? What are your thoughts on the auction house stipulations for what we know about them for now? And second, do you think that there might be even like hourly or daily type of market trends for you to capitalize on? You getting good feelings about this or bad feelings? What do you think so far?
So honestly, I don't think it's going to affect too much the way I make coins. I know it's going to affect some people who really like to snipe. I think sniping is going to get a little bit harder. Like, there's still going to be opportunities to snipe, don't get me wrong. But the biggest thing I took away from that with like the median prices and like the high and low is that if a snipe happens, so if you get a card for like 250 coins and it's worth like 10,000, for example, that goes into play when it comes into like the median price.
Right.
The snipes are going to be a part of that as well. So it's going to lower the profit. Is my guess. Like, obviously, if you get a card for 250 coins, you're gonna make coins regardless. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna make your coins, but like the profit will be less because those snipes will be part of the median price.
And I think I think there's like, I don't know how many sales of a card will be necessary to establish the median price, but I also know they're not gonna like start off with the range. You know what I mean? Like, if a new card comes into the marketplace, like they're gonna wait for, you know, some transactions to happen before they wind up setting the median and then basing the range off of that. So and there might even be some concern there because, you know, if the same 5, you know, heavy hitters are winding up with these same big cards because they're pulling $200 in bundles every week where something new comes out and they overinflate the median price, like, you know, kind of get in with each other and, you know, make sure the transactions happen really high. I'm curious to see whether there will be like any new or like, you know, crappy ways to manipulate the market also in kind of like an underhanded way. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there will be. Yeah, I feel like if you have like 100 million coins, you can buy them all and just like up the price, right? Like, it's, it's something that you can manipulate the market for sure that way. But I think like, I don't think it's going to affect it the way I make coins. What I do is I follow the cycle. I know when to buy low and then resell when they're more limited, that they need those cards. So like, for example, we had the legends, like the legend sets this year. Throughout the week, I would buy like the 81s, 82s, 83s for a cheap price because everyone was just throwing them on the block for like with promos. And
just get these out of my binder. I don't want these.
Took them all, and then on Saturday when there was an exchange set for them, people were not filtering. They wouldn't filter prices. They would just go into the set, click on like the little search button,
buy the first one.
It would take them to like the unfiltered prices, and they would just buy right from there because they wanted to open packs and open sets. And I would just resell them for like double the coins, and I would do that every single week and made like 200K every single week, just like however much I invested, and it was easy money. So it's like understanding what was going to be coming out and how the cycle works. But I do think a little bit like with FIFA. So what they do in FIFA, from what I understand, I haven't really played too much FIFA, but as soon as the cards come out, like a new promo card comes out, everyone's buying them right away, and then a week later they're putting them on the auction house for like way more coins. So I feel like investing might be, I think investing is going to be huge this year. I really do, depending on how that market looks and like how much you can manipulate it yourself. So, but at the same time, like, I was also going to talk about, what else? I was going to say something else. I can't remember now. I think it's going to, like, I think sniping and filtering, it won't matter as much this year, unfortunately, because it's all laid out for you now.
You see the recent sales, and it's a lot of information that we already had access to on the companion app. You know what I mean? But the fact that it's on console now. Right, yeah. So
like filtering down, like you can filter down and still pick up some cards, but people are going to see that now, like in front of them when they even go buy a more expensive card. Because what we would do is, like, not to sound like weird or whatever, but we would take advantage of the people who don't really understand the market.
Yeah, right? And they don't filter it down. They'll just take the first set of filters and, okay, that works. And it's not even like, I know you're so Canadian that you might feel bad about taking advantage of those folks, but like, it's not. That will always be an available method to make coins. If you want to make coins, at the end of the day, you'll always be able to take advantage of folks that just don't filter this stuff down. Right. You know what I mean?
And they won't, and they'll continue not to. I know, like, it's going to be a little bit less, like, from what we had this year, but I still think it's going to be possible. I think filtering, people are still not going to do it. They're going to go to those sets, search, and just buy the card there. Even though it says, it will say right there, there's another card cheaper.
For sure.
So it sounds like it's not going to change too much.
So it sounds like maybe, open-minded, reserving judgment for now on the auction house changes. I feel like I'm of the same mind. And, you certainly, know enough about gameplay to have some feelings. I know gameplay, it won't be the focus coming up here. But do you have any, like comments, concerns, criticisms? I'm seeing the momentum system. I'm a little bit worried about there being like meta home stadiums. I think that's a little bit silly. Are you seeing any parts of like what's rolling out as far as gameplay goes that you're feeling anything about? Are you excited about it? There's also something to be said for like new stuff being cool. You know what I mean? But what do you think?
Sure. Okay, so yeah, the home stadium, the home advantage, that could be a little bit weird in like matchmaking, like online. I know it's not. I don't like, from what I heard and what I've seen, some people talking about. I don't think like the home field advantage stuff will be in like MCS, but like just like going into like weekend league, like you don't know if you're going to be. Yeah, that's the question. You don't know if you're going to be the home team or it's like a 50-50 chance. So it's like, why does someone get put into the game who have like one extra advantage over me?
Yeah,
I
sure.
Just don't. That's my only concern. Like I feel like there's gotta be something to. I know maybe it may even out eventually. Like one game you'll have the home field advantage, and another game you won't. But like
but if it's such an advantage every time, it's like you're not really getting a feel for who's better at the game. And like for you and I, like who really cares that much? But for the competitive guys, like you want a balanced product. And just even taking the first glance at the list of home field advantages, I'm disgusted they give some of them seem OP. Some of them seem way better than other ones, right?
Like so you can make a hot route, or you can't some players won't, you can't even see the play art, or like I know that might not matter for a lot of people, but like some people it might. You want to see where they're going. Right. I feel like it fits in franchise really well. I think they would love that. I think that totally adds to the immersion. But I would tend to be of the same mind. And I think, based on, what we're seeing in Discords and whatnot, it seems like the comp guys are probably going to be loud enough that I don't think that feature will make. If Weekend League stays a qualifying mode, I mean, we'll see. They're also going to be committed to, they spent time and money, probably a lot of money, to get this in the game. So they're going to be, the comp community is going to be hard pressed to get them to just be like, okay, fine, we're just going to ignore that in Weekend League and comp games and whatnot, despite spending all the time and the effort on the thing. So I don't know, man. It seems like, kind of remain to be seen, but I'm certainly, I don't want to play it mile high every single MUT head-to-head game I ever play the entire year, for example, or like wherever winds up being like the meta stadium. There will be one.
Of course there will be one. Oh, exactly. Yeah, I'm of the same mind.
I didn't really play too much of the beta because like I couldn't find like an online game. So the only gameplay I pretty much played was just like solos, and I don't know if I can get a real look at how it feels. Like the player movement feels a little bit better than the next gen we have right now. It feels a little bit faster.
Quicker, like agility a little higher, I think, right? Yeah.
It feels like the middle linebackers are actually like they do something. They actually animate, which is nice. Right. That's one of the things I've noticed. Like this, I don't know if you tried it, but I could not get a spin move or a truck to work.
No, I was using Saquon for a couple regs games, and it was tough. Yeah,
against the CPU, I could not get a spin move to work. Like maybe my timing was off, but like I just could not get one to work. Usually they work against the computer like so easy, especially if they click off. You can like spin or like juke, and it works. But no, I could not get one to work. So,
how did it feel to you, like as an aggregate? Like I also did not tap into it much. Just I was frustrated at first that I couldn't get online games, and I got the update later. But then same as you, like if I'm gonna be on a game, like I want to stream it, I want to share it with people, and the fact that we had the no stream, no capture clause. It's like it's gonna come out next month anyway. I'm not on belt watch, so like I feel like I'll have enough time to like tap in and figure it out then. Were there any parts? So I agreed with you. I think the agility was tuned up just a little bit. It feels like the next gen movement system, but with maybe a hair more agility in. Did it feel good to you overall? Like what were your experiences from the limited playtime you got?
Yeah, so I think at the time, because I've been playing some next gen now, so I see how I'm getting used to the next gen, because I haven't played current gen Madden in a while. So I've been just like focused on the next gen stuff, and it feels like when I first started, I was like, I can't do this. I can't even like run. Like it feels like I can't like make moves. I don't know how to like stop and go. I know like you have to go like side to side. I'm still like learning that, but
it's different.
Yeah, and jumping into the beta, it did feel like a hair faster. I could see, I would like to see it a little bit faster. I know. So here's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a video game.
Yep.
It's never going to be full simulation. It's never going to be real life.
Yep.
It's a video game.
Sure is.
I know I might get hate on this. I know I might get hated on this.
I don't think so, man. I think I'm on. So sorry. So go on, and then I'll share. I think you're gonna wind up on the popular side of this, and I'll wind up on the unpopular side of this. I want to see more football because but go on. It is indeed a video game.
It is. It's a video game, and trust me, I love that. I want it to be like as real as possible, but at the same time, I don't want it to not feel like a video game anymore. Sure. I want to still have fun playing. I still want to be able to like juke people out. I still want to be able to like get those passes going and stuff like that. But
so it shouldn't be realism at the cost of fun then for you.
Yeah, because like we're still trying to play a video game. I just know people like for franchise, I think that's great. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're playing like franchise and you're playing against the CPU, you want it to be as real as possible, right? You want that feel. But like when you're playing with other people and playing like I guess and you can tell it's a video game because there's abilities and there's like all this stuff, right? Like that wouldn't happen in real life. So there's still that feel of video game, but like, are we gonna make it completely like real and like the player movement, like you can't do anything? Like obviously certain things like you gotta be able to like make real, right? Like, but it's never gonna be real. There's gonna be like glitches in the game. There's gonna be like
for sure,
the stuff is like the AI is gonna get dumbed out sometimes, and it's like, well then at that point it's not real.
Just make the best video game that you can make, as best you can. Let it feel like real football and the for me, with the background of coaching youth football and like spending a lot of time around the game, like kind of like from an X's and O's, like I was on the coaching staff at Albany. I don't love that good football coaching decisions aren't always, not only not always, are usually not the correct Madden decisions. So I think I'm with you on like I would like it has to be fun. You know what I mean? But for example, like in current gen all year, and thank God I didn't have to spend any time on current gen.
Yeah.
Big nickel over G with 7 defensive backs. You put in all bunch of safeties. Should not bag strong H wing for a 3-yard loss every time, right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
By the same token, like 4-6 and 4-3 defenses with a lot of beef on the field with some big old daddios and plenty of linebackers are Swiss cheese against most of my running formations. You know what I mean? Like, nickel is the worst case scenario for me. So I guess, selfish self-interest would be I would like to see it make more sense on that front. Like, I would like for football concepts to be more prevalent maybe. But I also agree with you that next gen, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, and you don't need to hop on board with me on this one. Next gen, the original iteration of next gen movement, and the way next gen moves right now is the most realistic to football field locomotion that is available right now. Current gen is not anywhere remotely near a locomotion that you'll see on a football field, and people hated it because it felt a little bit less like a video game. It slowed it down a little bit, and obviously nobody was forced to give it a chance, really, because it came out and we knew right away that it was going to be all the competitive stuff was going to happen on current gen anyway. So all the comp guys and some of these folks with the biggest voices, they didn't have to give it an opportunity. And now you're seeing at the end of the year, now that we're getting indication that it's probably going to be next gen for the competitive scene, some of these comp guys are doubling back down and coming back to next gen to kind of get some reps in. And now, finally, at the end of the year, July 1st, I'm starting to hear stuff like, man, this actually wasn't that bad in the first place. This is kind of maybe even better. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I've been on record all year that I preferred it. But it seems like 22 is bridging the gap maybe a little bit.
It seems like it. Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know about you, but like I'm just ready for a new game. I'm really struggling to like keep my energy levels high playing Madden 21 right now. And and the thing is, like, that's my game. Like, I know I can play other games. I know there's no issue with that, but I still like enjoy playing Madden. Even now, like I know there's not. It gives me like I can't really do much on Madden right now because like no one's really putting up cards, no one's really buying packs, no one's doing much. So it's like
and the game is fading out. It's the end of the game cycle. Like and you and I are of the same mind. It's like I'm not like looking at EA sideways. Like how could you no? It's like that. We're at the end of the game year. Like we had exactly. We had a full content year. But I certainly sympathize. On that note, what do you think you're gonna? You've been getting some games in. That's been dope. Winning a lot of games in there too. You got went way over 500 in weekend league recently. Do you have any plans to like kind of like bridge the gap for the channel specifically to like kind of get you there? Or are you gonna like kind of just like ride it out for now? Or are you gonna dip back into some other games? Or you just kind of want to maintain your home base on Madden so when the new game comes out, like you'll already have been there. Like what's your plan? What's your stopgap plan?
Yeah, so that's pretty much I'm probably like most of the week I'll probably still play Madden. I'll still like get some reps since I do want to like Madden 22. I don't want to just go full menu team. Like I still want to play the game. I do enjoy playing games, right?
Sure.
Like will I stream a lot of my games? Probably not. But like will I play in my off time? Yeah, for sure. But like right now it feels like almost like a chore to play Madden on my off time, like to prep for like videos and stuff like that. It's kind of a little bit of a chore right now because like I need to get like my coin stacked to a certain point. I need to like get these cards in order to like make a video for like Saturdays. Like I don't want to play off stream anymore.
Totally. And then like you said,
Warzone play stuff.
And to your earlier point, like it's not even like just from based on what you've said, it's not even like this work of like really freaking plot, walking through the mud here and kind of slow going. From what you're saying, it's not even like it's kind of being rewarded with eyeballs on the finished product. You know what I mean? Which I imagine is also frustrating. Like, you bend over backwards to try to find an idea for a video, and just based on where we're at in the game year, I can imagine that that could feel frustrating at some points.
Yeah, because the views are down, and there's not really many people watching. And like, I don't blame people, but for me, it's not really about the views right now. It's about me getting into a schedule. I like this year I stopped. I gave up on, not gave up, but like I took a 2-month break from YouTube just because I was really overwhelmed with work, and I really put in a lot of work for like that partner push. So around that time when I was really making that push, I kind of like took a step back from YouTube, and then I kind of lost a lot of like momentum there because I was doing pretty well, and I got overwhelmed. I got like burnt out a little bit, so I just needed to step back. And now that I'm trying to stay back onto a schedule, it's hard right now because the videos I put out, not many people are watching because not many people are clicking onto their search bar and saying, I want to watch a Madden coin making video, because who cares? Right? Like, I'm not
what am I going to buy with my coins type of deal? Like, what am I going to do with the coins, even if I had them?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Like, there's no blame to EA. There's no blame to like anyone. It's just that's the cycle. Like you said, this is where we're at. The content this year has been fantastic. I think the content team for Madden has been excellent. I don't care what anyone says. I agree with that. On this bridge, I think the content team has done a great job. We've gotten so much content.
Animations were the best this year that they've ever been. I think probably.
I know.
Right?
I can't talk about the gameplay too much. I know like you can talk a little bit more about that, but like I know they've had their fair issues and stuff, like delay fades not working. No, you can't man them up and all that.
Oh God.
It's terrible. But you know what I mean? It's like I can't really touch on that too much because like half the year I didn't even play the game. I pretty much just, and that's what I like about Ultimate Team. I say this a lot. Ultimate Team is so like multi-dimensional, right? Like you don't need to just play the game. Like you can be a head-to-head demon, you can be a weekend league goon, you can be an auction house guy, you can build a team. There's just so many things you can do. So why? And that's where I get frustrated when people say like you're not gonna be successful if you don't do it a certain way. That's not it's not true, right? And I'm not gonna mention any names or anything like that because that's not who I am. But
you've proved it. I mean, you've shown and proved it though. Because there was a lot of that. Even when you were already like being incredibly successful with what you were doing, there was still chatter like, well, if you want to wind up with a successful stream, you have to do XYZ. Like, and I think that's like a takeaway even outside of Madden, you know what I mean? And like it's like a do as I say, not as I do type of thing, because I did it one way, and I like to share the aspects that worked for me and the considerations that I make with what things didn't work. But that is never to say that there is just one way to do something. I remember, I don't think I added you, but I remember responding to some random Twitter post. I don't even know what it was, but it was some sentiment along the lines of like, you'll never achieve this unless you're good at the game and you hop in and you get gameplay and it's this, that, and the third. And I was like, well, actually, I know this guy Up and Adam who is already partnered off of not playing the game at all. So,
and I think that like goes on about like just like real life, like you were just saying, like outside of Madden, outside of video games, like as a teacher, I promote like there's more than one way to learn something. There's you kind of like as a teacher, we find different ways to teach kids who are not learning a certain way, because not every kid learns the same, and not everyone's going to be successful the same way, and that's okay. Sure. We're okay with that, and like I think. Again, but this is like comes into like the toxic environment that people want to display and they want to base their channel, and that's okay. If that's what you want to do, it's not for me, right? But people are always going to see when someone's successful, they're going to try to take you down a notch, and that's okay. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew that my style of my streams and my content is not going to be for everybody, and I know that, and that's okay to me. I have built an incredibly positive and supportive community, like, and so have you. And I'm like, we like you said, we share most of the same audience, but like we built such a great niche and a great people. And I don't know, I just feel like there's no point bringing others down. Like it's just not gonna, it doesn't really benefit anyone. Like we already have a lot of like negativity around the world. Why continue that? So I don't know, that might just be the Canadian in me. That just might be my personality, but I rather be like bring people, like I'm happy for people's success. Like I will never like bash anybody's success. Like I'm happy if you can get to partner, or you can like you're averaging like 5 people and your average is now like 20. I'm happy for you.
For sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like, even if someone wants to like do the same thing as me, like I don't like, fine, let's do it. Like more like engagement. Like we're building a community. The more people we bring into it, the better for all of us.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's just like a product of, I don't know if it's a Canadian in you or you just being like a good person. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's this, I think this idea with, folks who will kind of experience envy or, want what, be mad at, somebody like you who's been successful at something they also want to be successful at, but they haven't been able to do it. There's this like, not a tendency, because it's not like a lot, most people are good, so it's not a tendency, but sometimes people will, they see you doing such great things up here, and they'll reach up and they want to pull you down to kind of where they're at and their atmosphere. And I've always, admired you personally as a dude, because, I know a lot of the whole chat, I think knows us both as individuals fairly well. We're a little bit of like yin and yang a little bit, you know what I mean? Like you got sure. Adam the Canadian and the diplomat, but in a very, positive light, not like I used the word the other day. And then, Fen from Jersey, who will sometimes, speak first and ask questions later, man. It's, you have been, in addition to just being such a good friend, you've also been great for balance and perspective for me personally, which has been, that's been dope. It's just another pleasure of knowing you, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, trust me, like there's times where I want to speak out and I catch myself, right? Like I think the patience that I've learned in teaching has really, really helped me like get my mind right. Yeah. Because there's times where like if I think there's something unfair, I will speak up, but I will always take some time and I'll always do it like privately. I'll never make it like the focus of my channel or the focus of the public eye. Like if I can handle things, I'll always handle things privately. If we can hash it out privately, more than welcome. If not, I'm just gonna let it go, because there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do or say that's gonna change someone's opinion of me.
Sure, indeed.
Like obviously, I'm gonna just continue being myself and be as kind and I don't know, welcoming and all that. But if you have that opinion of me that I'm a bad person or I don't support when I can, hey, I can't change your mind. All I can do is just keep being me. And I think I've built a community that is supportive. And if I can bring those people to other streams, I'm happy to do so. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I try to be like the calm head, right? Yeah. Calm guy.
Yeah, I think you operate in that space really well. All right, brother. I got some more rapid fire questions for you. Then I got because I mean time flies. This happened with Murphy D yesterday too. We're over an hour of interview time already. But all right, I got some rapid fire. Just a couple. Murphy D mentioned the other day that poutine comes in varieties, and he said that like there was like a Mexican poutine type thing or something like that. Favorite poutine variety for the Canadian Up and Atom? What do you got?
Okay. So I'm more of a classic poutine guy, but
with cheese curds. I know what cheese curds are now too. So I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy.
But if I had to pick a variety, I think it would be the pulled pork.
Pulled pork poutine, super lit. Yeah, I blacked out. When I heard pork, I was like, this man's not about to say pork roll, is he? I was about to disconnect you from the stream expeditiously. I got Canadians participating in the Taylor ham v pork roll thing, and they don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, pulled pork poutine, super dub.
I had to pick, yeah.
Okay,
but I'm mostly more classic.
Most expensive maple syrup you've ever seen offered for sale, and where was it?
Ooh, most expensive. All right, so that would probably be Niagara Falls. I think I went to Niagara Falls, just outside of, or I guess it's part of Buffalo too, right?
The Canadian side of Niagara Falls is so much nicer, though. The Canadian side, the American side is such a dump, bro. I went to Niagara Falls and crossed over to Canada just to be on the Canadian side of the falls. It was trash. The American side sucks.
I think there was like this. I don't know if it was good maple syrup or not, but it was it was like this. Okay, so I'm showing you like this.
Right.
It was this, but like way bigger.
Right,
like,
right.
It was probably like the size of like my torso. Like, I'm not even kidding. It was. I don't even know how much it was, but like it was well over $100.
And they put that there. Murphy D's saying they put that there as bait for the American tourist too. They're like, it's got to be. This has got to be the one. I need the grail of holy maple syrup.
I'm sure it's not the best either. Like you can go to like your local like grocery store here and get some really good maple syrup for like, I don't know, like $15-$20. And that's Canadian, so that's probably like $10 to $12 for you.
Yeah,
right?
okay. That's like fairly standard. Are you close by the falls? Is like a falls kind of like a tourist destination for you at all, or not really?
It's a tourist, but it's more about like an hour and a half from me. Like I take an hour and a half drive, and I'm there. I can cross into Buffalo in like an hour and a half.
That's not so bad. Okay, and then what are you putting your syrup on for breakfast? You got options for French toast, waffles, pancakes. Where are you leaning?
I'm going waffles, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Is
it going to be the crevice? Oh, go on. I'm thinking ahead of the game right now.
I like the taste. I like the taste of waffles.
Nooks and crannies.
But it's one of those things where you don't get to like make very often unless you have like a waffle maker. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to just like pancakes are easy. You can just
Facts.
I don't know, put it onto the pan and you're good. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like you don't eat it very often, so you want it more.
Okay. All right, leaning waffles for your syrup. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so over the next month, you shared with us earlier that you're a teacher, and I do believe, are you upon summer break now?
We are. So we got 2 months. We got until September. I think we go back like the first week of September or just before.
First week of September. So, I mean, you're kind of primed to strike here. You know what I mean? You have all of July, all of August, right? And you said first week of September. So you will be, available and up and running for the Madden launch over your summertime. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. So we're going to do a lot. We're going to so the schedule moving forward is going to be from like once Madden drops, like I can't bring myself to start streaming at 8:00 right now.
Yeah.
With Madden 21.
I feel you. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So like once Madden 22 comes out, I'm going to be streaming from like 8 to like 10:30, 11, because I want to be the streamer who is able to get you prepped for the promos coming out and what to do, and then touch a little bit of like the promo that's out, because coin making is really like important, like right when a promo comes out, but also you need to be able to prep for it. So that's like my plan. Then obviously if we get like I don't know, like I know Team of the Week has usually been in the afternoon, maybe like a couple afternoon streams depending on the day when I'm available, right? So, but mostly like 8 to like 11, and then I'll be able to get a YouTube video right out, get my TikTok and everything else ready to go, and then we're set. So that's my plan for like August at the very least. So
beautiful. Where can we catch you? Well, when can we catch you until then? Was it kind of, should we catch up, should we follow along with your Twitter, as streams are announced? I know, I feel you, man. It's tough to, motivate to hop on for an early morning stream in a game where there's, not a whole, where the top menu streamer in the community is playing Weekend League. I understand that, booting up at 8 o'clock might not be the move there, but like roundabout where and when will we be able to catch you until the Madden 22 launch?
Yeah. I'm going to go back to mornings. I'm going to be doing like 8:30 to like 10:30.
Okay.
8:30 to like 11. But yeah, Twitter I always post when I go live on Twitter always.
Beautiful. And
then yeah, like my plan is to like boot up like a stream like most days. Like I might take like Mondays or so off because there's not really much going on. Just like get my head right, to not burn out before the real launch, right? So yeah, probably like 8:30 or so, and yeah, probably not a lot of afternoon streams. Going forward, because I'm home now. I like to get my day. Like I like to, not that like it's like a struggle to like stream or anything, but like I love
get your stuff
to like
done.
Wake up and stream and get it done, and then I have the rest of the day to like hang out, walk the dogs, and like record and whatever I need to do. So I love the morning streams. If I can like stream every morning, whether for work, I'd be streaming every morning. So
awesome. Will the YouTube? Are you going to keep your hand on the pulse of your YouTube content for now? Is it? I know it's tough. We've been talked about it a couple times today. I know it's tough. Should we expect uploads to YouTube, to TikTok as well? Kind of in this ramping up period.
So daily TikTok videos, because those are, I think I enjoy making TikTok videos. I really, really do. Like they're fun, quick 1 minute like clips of like whatever. Sure. And so I can do those like daily. YouTube, like I'm struggling to find content right now.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that's not like anything bad or like me like not being creative, because I could be like I could definitely be creative and like find things to do, but it's not really, I don't know, like putting in like hours and hours of like time and then getting like 30 views is pretty discouraging. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it's nothing like I'm not gonna let that like affect my like mentals and stuff like that, because I did at the beginning. Like I did not enjoy like putting in like 2-3 hours of like editing and then posting a video and I get like 50 views. It's like, oof, I just like spent that much time when I could have been like hanging out with like Aaron and the dog. So I've gotten an editor for my YouTube videos, and I think is like, honestly, I know a lot of people like, you gotta do it your own and stuff like that, but like the editor I'm using is very affordable and it saves me like 2-3 hours a day instead of editing, where I can spend the time with Aaron and the dogs and like doing other things, right? Getting like my TikTok ready. So and he does a fantastic job, way better than what I'm gonna do in like 3 hours of my work anyway. So, and if I'm able to afford it, yeah, I'm so.
Oh, what the heck? Did Up and Adam just dip, or was that me? We got a frozen Up and Adam? Ain't no way, right? Hold on, check. Oh, we could still hear me?
Oh, I lost.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay, Up and Adam unfrozen now. Hold on a second now, boys. Sorry, bro. Hold on. This might be on my end? I can't tell. Hold on, let me go recapture. Look at Discord being non-inspirational. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. All right, Up and Adam. Let me see if I got you back. Check. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Yep.
Okay, he can hear me. I can't hear him. Okay, here we go. One more time. I mean, you got to be kidding me with this, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now I can hear you. Hold on. Let me make sure that the chat still can. Give me one more check there, Up and Adam.
Yeah, you good? Can you hear me?
Okay.
D2 said he could hear me. So
you could hear him the whole time? Okay, good. I'm glad it didn't cut off Up and Adam. Look at Bluetooth just being the opposite of inspirational. Okay. All right. So, bro, we sat down with Up and Adam today from starting a quick synopsis of all the things that I learned, because it was quite a bit, man. This is like exactly the point. Started off in Madden 19, but by the time he was in Madden 20, he was a MUP millionaire. By the time it was Madden 21, he was actually a partnered Madden streamer, which is ridiculous. A soccer and an ice hockey athlete, all growing up, had even the opportunity to, play a little bit competitively, but made a genius and far-sighted move to head over to Australia and chase that lady down, and all's well that ends well. Now 6 years later, still together. Got your origin story about us meeting through J-Dub's community, and some of the creators that inspired you, or at the very least that you took in on the way to becoming the Up and Atom as we know him today. Little pulled pork on your poutine. That's a super dub also. Bro, what a great show, man. Do you have anything that you would leave, that you'd like to leave the congregation with before we let you get on to Aaron and for the rest of your day?
I just want to like I said, like I'm extremely grateful, man, to have met like you and like the congregation. Like you've really made like this journey like unforgettable, like yourself and everybody who still like who's been like supporting me throughout like this like last, well, I guess it's been like a year now. And it's like I'm so excited to see who else we meet, because we met so many awesome people now. I could just imagine when Madden comes back in, right, all these like new people who might just like be starting, and like I don't know, just like it's so nice to like meet new people, like especially during a pandemic where we can't really like hang out with a lot of people. Like I haven't seen a lot of my friends as often as I was like, so like meeting all of you is like feels like I have all those friends, right? It feels like I'm in like my own little like world that I can connect here, and also like my personal life. So love
totally,
it.
Man. And I feel I got to return the sentiment also, man. I think of, and it's saying a lot because there are so many incredibly high quality individuals that I've met like throughout this path. But thinking back on, how it went, how it started, the path I took, and, meeting you, over the Twitter interaction at first, I gotta be honest, man. I think that you personally, as far as like a friend and a comrade in doing this thing, were the most, I couldn't imagine having done this without you. You know what I mean? And, I think you were a necessary part of my success, and you continue to give me good balance and good advice, and I admire and respect you very, very much, bro. It's been such an adventure so far, and I'm of the same mind, man. We've met so many good people in just the year just about that we've been doing this. You extrapolate this to next year or the year after, and I don't think there is there's a capacity on the things that you and I can accomplish and the people around us, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Adam, man, what an absolute pleasure celebrating a Canadian on Canada Day. Up and Adam, one of the most handsome available, certainly the top available menu streamer out there, leaning Weekend League 2. Adam, man, I can't wait to see what you do over the next couple months and weeks, months, and years, man. It's a pleasure to be your friend, and I appreciate your time so very much, bro.
Cheers.
Up and Adam, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. YouTube, man, I've been Fend. This has been Up and Adam. Maintain intensity. Be better than your opponents. And I will see y'all in the next Fend Talk. Up and Adam. Legend, man. Signing off.